All right, so how to get rich in the military. A lot of people don't realize that the military actually pays really well, gives you a lot of benefits and a lot of opportunities to save money and build wealth. A little bit about me. In 2008, when I was 18, I joined the Navy and I became a Navy diver. Was stationed in San Diego and I did a couple deployments. Then, after 6 years, I got out of the Navy and I moved up to Seattle, where I now study finance at Seattle University. Now, I'm not rich yet. My net worth is about $150,000, but the decisions that I made while I was in the military really set me up for success financially now that I'm out. And hopefully, from watching this video, you can get an idea of some of the things that you can plan for when you're in the military. That way, you have as much luck financially as I did. So, number one, pick a specialty job. Before you even join the military, when you're at your recruiter's office or at DEP, make sure you sign up for a specialty rate. I'm talking about special operations or any kind of special program where they're offering you a sign-on bonus and E4 right after A school. If you do not pick one of these specialty jobs, I would recommend to not even join the military if you want to get rich. Really, getting these specialty jobs is the best way to be able to save money and and have a good financial future. Reasons for picking a specialty job or your sign-on bonus. When I graduated Navy dive school, they gave me my $35,000 sign-on bonus. So when I was 19, I had $35,000 in my savings account, and then I was able to invest this money throughout the time that I was in. Fast rank. So you pick up rank way faster when you have these specialty jobs. I got E4 right after A school, so 1 year after being in, I was petty officer third class in the Navy, and also with these specialty jobs, you have special pays. I was getting dive pay, demo pay, special duty assignment pay, and like one other pay for being a diver, which added up to about $450 extra every month for being a diver. And some jobs are more, some jobs are less, but any special job should have some special pays, which really adds up over the years. And another advantage of being in these specialty jobs is that you're most likely going to be in a smaller unit where your leadership is going to trust you a lot more and give you a lot more liberty to go out in town, not wear uniforms, call in sick. I mean, you're just going to have a lot more privileges because you're kind of going to be operating on like big boy rules where guys that are in, you know, on ships or in battalions or whatever are in a group with a couple hundred other soldiers or sailors, and they're getting babysat because there's so many of them, so many dumbasses. It's hard to keep track. So the specialty jobs, they trust you more, and your life is just like way better the whole time that you're in, and it's worth the hard training that you go through for like 1 year to get there. So do not sign up for a specialty job and do not quit during training. It is worth it once you graduate. Number two, start saving from day one and diversify. Put money in your savings account, stock market, TSP. I'm not a huge fan of the TSP because I like to be more liquid with my investments. But if you're a bad saver and you're tempted to take money from your savings, TSP could be an option. But watch out when you get out of the military. You could have a lot of money sitting there that you can't even touch without large tax penalties. So I would say put a lot of money in savings and a lot of money in the stock market, maybe some bonds, some CDs, but save a lot of money. Don't go around just because you have money now doesn't mean you need to spend your money on a bunch of on fancy clothes or fancy toys or which brings us to number three. Do not buy a brand new car. The biggest financial mistake I've seen guys make is they go out as soon as they get stationed at their duty station, they go to the dealership, they buy a brand new car for like $50,000. Don't do that. Spend like $5,000 on a reliable car, or just don't buy a car at all. I mean, $5,000 get you like 1999 Ford Focus or something and just drive that around um, for the whole time that you're in the military. It's going to save you a ton of money. You really don't need to worry about looking cool. You got plenty of time to do that when you're a millionaire later down later down the road. But if you're a 20-year-old kid, you do not need a brand new Escalade at all. Trust me. So number four, this is kind of a controversial one, but uh, so number four is do not get married. Um, I've seen a lot of guys get married and divorced in the military and basically get out of the military with no money and they're paying child support, they're paying alimony, their wife took their car, their house. I mean, it just like 8 times out of 10, a marriage in the military ends up being a big fucking mess and you lose a lot of money. And so my advice, just wait a little bit. I mean, have girlfriends, boyfriends, whatever you want, but just wait at least until you're like an E6 to get married. No matter like it might seem like a good idea to get married and get out of the barracks and get BH and live out in town, but just wait, pick up rank on your own and get out in town as a bachelor because in the long run it's going to save you a lot of money. So just kind of be patient. I know like every situation is different, but I'm glad that I did not get married while I was in the military. I would not have be where I'm at financially now, and would not be able to do the fun stuff that I enjoy. So, number five, go on deployments. Deployments are pretty awesome, especially if you have a specialty job like I was talking about. You're probably going to be deploying and to places where you're getting per diem. And like when I was deployed to the Persian Gulf, I was making like over $5,000 per diem every single month, and on top of my normal pay. So I was getting over $10,000 a month tax free on a deployment, getting paid to travel the world with my best friends. It's like a really sweet deal. So go on deployments if you can. Even if you're not getting per diem the whole time, you're probably getting a tax free, or at least you're stuck somewhere where you can't spend your money. And it's hard to get back from a deployment unless you're married and not have a bunch of money saved up in the bank. So go on deployments; they're pretty awesome. Definitely recommend it. And what are we at? Six. So number six is buy a house. Buying a house was one of the smartest things that I did while I was in the Navy. Um, I bought a $250,000 house in San Diego, a 3 bed, 2 bath, and then I rented out two of the rooms to my buddies. Uh, Basically, my buddies paid my whole entire mortgage, and I only had to pay the utilities in the house. So the 2 years that I owned the house, I lived there for free, and then they were paying down my principal. So 2 years later, I sold my house for $318,000, and after the realtor commission, I made about $55,000. Also that year, I was that was a deployment year, and I made about $85,000 just from the Navy. So what is that? 60 plus. So that was like $140,000 that I made in one year. So then I got out of the military and have all the money I need in savings and still investing in the stock market and some other things. But basically, I just get to sit back, focus on my schooling, and really just enjoy life. And I'm studying finance right now. I got about another year and a half done with school. Uh, with military experience and a financial degree or any kind of high demand job, I mean, like you're going to be pretty much set up. You're going to graduate college, no debt on the GI Bill. Right now, I get paid, I think, $2,000 a month BAH for living up in Seattle, along with some disability money that I get for some connected stuff. But all in all, it ended up being a really good deal. I'm in a really good spot financially, and you could pretty much do all the same stuff that I did and or better. So hopefully, you know, if like me, you grew up poor and you didn't have a lot of options. Hopefully, you'll consider the military as one of them, and if you do it, you can really make the best out of it and go far. So good luck.